Last Friday, the Cats wrapped up the BBN United Tip-Off Classic with a 99-53 win over Eastern Illinois. And just 72 hours later, they were on a flight to New York City for the State Farm Champions Classic. The world's most famous arena brought together Kansas, Duke, Michigan State, and Kentucky for this year's showcase. And for the Wildcats, that meant a primetime matchup with the Spartans. But for two players in particular, that night was about more than the bright lights of Madison Square Garden. It was a homecoming. For Otega Owe, MSG is just a short train ride away from his hometown in Newark, New Jersey. And for junior forward Mo Diabate, the arena is only 13 miles from where he grew up in Queens. Once again, it was Colin Chandler that led the Cats offense and gave them that early lead, starting 3 for 3 and perfect from the deep. But everything shifted at the 12-minute mark. Kentucky's offense stalled, and Michigan State took full advantage and began pushing its lead substantially, led by Jackson Kohler and Trey Fort. The same shooting struggles that have haunted Kentucky all season showed up once again. The Cats shot just 27% from the field and 26% from the free in the first half. But it wasn't just the shooting that was a problem. Through the first 13 minutes, Kentucky had 0 bench points, 0 second chance points, and 0 offensive rebounds. As the half wound down, the Cats found just 1 make on 11 straight attempts, and a Spartan buzzer beater sent Kentucky into the locker room trailing 44-27. The second half opened up with both teams exchanging buckets, but Kentucky's defensive issues left no room to close the gap. Diabate brought a spark offensively, scoring 6 straight to cut the lead to 13, and he would eventually finish with 10 points in his MSG debut. But Kentucky would finally find some rhythm mid-half, hitting 5 of 6 shots and using a 7-0 run to get the score within 10. 4 straight Spartan turnovers forced Michigan State into a timeout, with the Cats down just 60-50. But the momentum didn't last. Michigan State punched back, stretching the lead to 16 and eventually 20. And with Kentucky having never completed a 20-point comeback in the last 15 seasons, the window was closing really fast. The Cats finished shooting only 35% from the field and just 23 from deep, and an 11-0 run from Michigan State would seal the 83-66 victory. Kentucky is now 6-9 all-time in the Champions Classic, including 2-3 against Michigan State. And while there's no question that this was a hard loss for the team, but more specifically for head coach Mark Pope, he took it very personally. It took him nearly an hour to come out and meet with the media after the game. Here's what he had to say.
We're far away from the team that we hope to aspire to be, and we can't waste a second on trying to grow into that. I got guys that are skilled, talented players. They care a lot, and I just haven't been able to put the pieces together quite right yet. I actually think that our identity should be if you build an organization the right way, then your identity is not about an individual person. Your identity is about a collective group. And we will build an organization where it won't be disrupted every time someone steps in and steps out, because we'll have a team identity, not an individual identity. Until we get there, we're going to really struggle. That's my job. That's why Mitch brought me here. I'm doing it poorly, and we won't do it poorly for much longer.
Kentucky now sits at 0-2 against ranked opponents this season, and in the month of December alone, the Cats are slated to face 3 ranked opponents. That doesn't even include the long-awaited renewal of the Kentucky-Indiana rivalry on December 8th. It does get slightly easier for now, though. Kentucky will see back-to-back unranked opponents in Loyola, Maryland and Tennessee Tech, and you just have to hope those matchups will give the Cats enough time to regroup before hosting number 18 North Carolina in the ACC-SEC Challenge. Both players and coaches have continued to emphasize the potential this group has, but right now it feels like Kentucky is simply running out of time to reach it.